In today's video, we are going to talk about CrewAI, what it is, what's involved in setting it up, and then show you how to use Docker Compose to simplify the process. By the end of the video, you'll see how easy it is to get things up and running working on a CrewAI project. So let's go ahead and take a look. Before we get started, you'll want to make sure that you have a couple of things installed. First, have Git install, which you could install from here for your appropriate computer. Next, of course, you need to install Docker. I have the Docker desktop installed, which I downloaded from over here. Also, you'll want to clone the repository Compose for Agents that we'll be working with, where you have a variety of type of frameworks. And you'll want to make note that if you are running some models locally, you'll need a laptop or workstation that has a GPU. And if not, you can always use Docker Offload. And in order to do that, you'll want to make sure that you sign up for Docker Offload access here in their beta program. CrewAI is a lightweight Python framework for building teams of AI agents, each with a role, tools, and goals that collaborate to complete complex tasks together. For a real-world analogy, you could think of a newsroom. A researcher gathers facts, a writer crafts the article, an editor polishes it. CrewAI coordinates that whole workflow programmatically. Now with setting up CrewAI, there's quite a bit of setup involved. Installing and pinning Python dependencies, model backend configuration, agent and tools wiring, setting up knowledge stores. For your runtime, you need to write your CLI and app entry points, and then you need to replicate all this on different environments. And this is prone to a lot of errors when you need to repeat this on a lot of different environments. Enter Docker Compose. Docker Compose is a tool to define and run multi-container Docker applications using a simple YAML file. With Compose, you describe your application services, networks, volumes, and configuration all in a file like this, and then launch it with a single command. And this abstracts away environment differences and manual setup. More info on Docker Compose could be found here in the docs, but let's go ahead and see how this works. Okay, so to get started, from our Compose for Agents repo, if we scroll down to where we see our agentic frameworks, we can go to the project column for CrewAI. Click there, and that will bring us to documentation that we need related to CrewAI. Explain what it is with a sample output, and right over here for requirements, you'll note that it mentions if we're going to run this locally, we'll want to have a laptop or workstation that has a GPU, or we can also use Docker Offload. And when that's set up, we could just run the project with this one command here, Docker Compose up. Now, as a reminder for Docker Upload, you do need to sign up for that if you don't have an account already set up, and you could do that here. But right over here is documentation to just show how you could get it started. And it really is as simple as this command right here that I could just copy and run in my terminal. Now it'll probably select my account, which I'll go ahead and do. And it asks if I want GPU support. If we look back at the documentation, it'll indicate that you only want to do this when you want intense support. Either way, work is going to be offloaded from your computer. So for now, I'll just say no. And it looks like we're good to go, because according to the documentation, when Docker Offload is started, we will see this cloud icon from our desktop UI, which is right over here. Okay, so I've cleared my terminal, and you can see I've navigated into my Compose for Agents /CrewAI directory. And now I am ready to run our Docker Compose command, which you could see in our CrewAI documentation repo right over here. And I could just copy this, paste, and we are off to the races. And while this is working, I'll just give some quick background on what it's going to be doing. It is going to be simulating creating a marketing team, and it'll be creating a lead market analyst, as it just did, chief marketing strategist, creative content creator, and these are the roles and their responsibilities. So we sped up the video for editing purposes. But in short, here's what's going on. First, Docker Compose pulled images and built the project, downloading everything needed to run our virtual team of AI agents. Then the lead market analyst jumped in, using fetch and search tools to gather data and insights. Next, the chief marketing strategist transformed the research into a full marketing plan with tactics like case studies, webinars, and executive roundtables. Finally, the creative content creator produced polished copy, titles, body text, and campaign messaging that showcase CrewAI's value for enterprise clients. Once each agent is finished, their results came together into this final deliverable, a complete campaign package. So what looks like a wall of terminal logs is really a full pipeline of research, strategy, and content creation happening automatically. Now let's talk about the architecture, because every CrewAI project begins with an input file, simple instructions about the customer and the goal. From there, the work breaks into tasks: research, strategy, campaign ideas, and finally content. These tasks get passed to agents, which act like virtual teammates. For example, a lead market analyst might pull research, and a chief marketing strategist uses that to shape a plan. Then a creative content creator turns those ideas into copy or campaign materials. The agents rely on AI tools behind the scenes. For example, one can search the web, another can run powerful language models, and together they move the project from raw input all the way to polished deliverables. Now here's the key. Setting all this up by hand usually means juggling Python libraries, API keys, and endless environment configs. With Docker Compose, all of that complexity is captured in a single YAML file. One command, and your entire CrewAI environment spins up consistently without the risk of things breaking across different machines. That's the advantage. You get the sophistication of a multi-agent workflow without the headache of managing the setup yourself. And that's mainly it to run a CrewAI project using Docker Compose. Let me know in the comments which framework from the Compose for Agents repo you've used or want to see a demo on next. If you found this video helpful, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. And also, if you got value out of this, make sure to also check out this video here. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.